Apparently, we're trying something new and different today, which is starting on time. It was actually 7:30 on the dot when we started this. Hello, I am Josh on the wrong lead at Cherry Drank on Twitter, and we got a bit of a skeleton crew today, but we're gonna get through this. Unfortunately, the wolf himself is having his back is howling, so he had to sit this one out. And our friend Caleb is currently getting lost somewhere in the backwoods. I think he's hiking, which I don't know how he's going to bet horses while he's doing that, but maybe that was the point. But I'm going to bring in our one of our members here. Who do I get first? Well, I think in honor of America, we're going to go with Mr. Beady Horseplayer here.
No, Caleb. Caleb, no. I will not take She's a Mystery. I don't care what you say. Have a nice trip. Sorry, Josh. I had a voicemail from Caleb. He wants me to take She's a Mystery. I don't know what's wrong with him. He's already suffering from low altitude or something. I don't know. What's going on, buddy?
I would think that he's suffering from the shakes right now because I don't think he's bet a horse since like Monday. So I don't know how he's doing, but I know I think he said he was out hiking, right? Is that what the story you got, Brian?
I think that's what he said. He's going to go out hiking with no technology and no horses, which if you know Caleb, I find that hard to believe. He's going to be tied up in a tent somewhere trying to watch the third at Tampa or something.
Yeah. And not to, I know we're missing Chase and we're missing Caleb, but I guess I do have to introduce the high score from the On the Wrong Lead team last week on at Thistledown. Like, I'm kind of really fucking sick and tired of Mark just like doing shit at tracks that nobody plays, and then just like showing up and being like, "Oh, I like this place. I think I'm gonna start playing it." He did it with Delta Downs. He did it with Assiniboia Downs. What other fucking track has he just like desecrated and made us not want to play anymore?
Well, before you add him and we can actually get a word in, I just want to put this out there real quick. You remember when we first started talking, Mark would not play the track not named Saratoga. We'd be like, hey, Gulfstream has a $4 million carryover. He'd be like, nope, not going to do it. Yeah. He had such Saratoga fever. And now he just jumps into random stable duels on tracks he'd never play, and he'd walk away in top 5, top 10. So therefore, I hate Mark.
I'm getting kind of sick of his shit too. Hey, what's up, Mark? How are you doing?
Hey, how's it going, guys? The envy runs deep. I can see that right now. We all know the reason Caleb's not here is actually because he didn't want to, hear me rub it in after he gave me some sass when I told him I was going to kick his ass, and then proceeded to kick his ass. So, I am apparently king of the shithole tracks. So,
speaking of sass, we do have a sweet sassy John Massey saying the number of bets that are going to be shut out because of the unusual move to start on time. Yeah, we're gonna.
We want full Gulfstream. Are we going to pull the Gulfstream back and go back to how Gulfstream was after like a week?
Ooh, you see that one? Next thing you know, Mark will start playing Parks.
No, I do have a soul, John. I will never go that low.
Yeah, but you'll start looking at your rebate card, and you'll be like, "Hey,
my rebates are really
it's 25% takeout, but I get like 18% back." So
I just can't do Parks level fuckery. I just can't.
Let me just say 2 words to you as we approach summertime: Ruidoso Downs. Just let that sink in for a minute.
I honestly can't even tell you what state Ruidoso Downs is in.
New Mexico.
Is it New Mexico?
Yep.
That was going to be my guess.
It sounds like it.
What's the track that's in Colorado?
That is something Pass. Grants Pass?
No, Grants Pass is in Oregon.
Yeah.
It's in Colorado. I remember because the guy who wrote that app on Reddit. Remember, he posted the app that was scraping Equibase, and he got sent to cease and desist.
Arapahoe Park.
The Arapahoe, yeah,
Park.
that was his home track. He was scraping data. He built that to scrape data from Equibase so he could bet Arapahoe Park. Right? He wasn't. I mean, I'm sure he was using it for other stuff, but like it was just kind of funny. Like he would show up in Discord and he would just start posting pics for Arapahoe Park, and then like half the time people were like, "Where is that?"
That is a level of degeneracy that I am proud of. I mean, that's you always feel like you've hit bottom, and then you're like, oh, but there's somebody worse.
Yeah. Here we go. Bob Dole, Stephen Fox bringing up the name Robin Howlett. Yeah, it was Robin. Yeah, he would come in every once in a while, and then I remember when we would have big data, descend on Discord, and people would try and drag him into it. And he's like, no, they sent me cease and desist. I'm out. So,
but how many people actually followed him? They didn't know where Arapahoe Park was, and he come in like, hey, 3-4 exacta here for 50. And then at least 10 people blindly follow him.
Yep.
Until last spring, did anybody know where Fauner was?
No.
I
did not know that they still raced horses in Nebraska. So, but I guess you learn something new every day, right? But we're going to be, I guess I should probably pull up. I had Canterbury up. We got 10 minutes. We got 10 minutes of Canterbury. So, we're gonna be doing a couple different things. We're messing around here, Canterbury, Emerald. We're gonna talk a little bit of the weekend. Now, the weekend's it's an interesting weekend, right? Because everyone's kind of saving their big horses for Saratoga now. Del Mar opening up in a couple weeks. But we got some interesting stakes races in a couple of different spots. Like we don't have those like real big cards, but we have one or two interesting races at a couple places. So we'll be bouncing around a little bit. The Summit of Speed is at Gulfstream this weekend, so I know they have a couple of nice sprint stakes there. The Suburban at Belmont, and then Iowa's got Prairie Meadows has got some decent racing Friday night, and also got some. It's got some stakes on Saturday too. I didn't look at Saturday's card. I just looked at Friday's card, and apparently Nick's Go is running at Prairie Meadows on Friday.
Yeah, there are some very interesting race spots. People, you would assume that if you got Nick's Go, wouldn't you, if that horse was like the real deal and nothing was wrong, wouldn't you be shipping him to Saratoga and running him in, I don't know, pick a stakes race? But no, you're gonna ship him to the middle of nowhere and run him in Nothingville.
Well, okay. The funny part is that like I didn't know if this was one of those like, hey, we're gonna nominate the horse and like, maybe we'll run there, but there is photographic evidence of the horse on the grounds, so the horse is more than likely gonna run, and it was just I couldn't believe it.
I have a couple opinions on that when we get there. So,
but
I'm actually personally more interested for the race before the next Go race, which is the Iowa Oaks. And I think that is going to be a very interesting race from the standpoint that a lot of those horses will come back and run on the Alabama at Saratoga. And you're going to get to see, a couple of the probably not A-tier 3-year-old fillies, but some of the B tier, some of the horses like, and because Josh is already there, a horse like an Army Wife, a Parlet Paulina's Pearl, Sister Annie, all are horses that have really flashed some real quality. And you're going to kind of get to see who's real and if does any one of those horses take a step forward and become a big player in something like the Alabama. So a couple of real interesting. I know Brian was all over Army Wife, her last race on stream. And
I love that show, by the way, on Lifetime. What a great move. What a great show. Army Wives. It was a real drama, tearjerker, really caught my attention.
I thought you were a Marine.
I was, but it was a nice television show. I'll put it out there. I got the flag behind me. It's a good show.
Yeah. Well, I guess before...
I was going to say, I'm sure Josh just absolutely loves Windmill here. I knowing Josh, he's never seen an E8 that he didn't bat. So Josh is going to drain the 401k on Windmill, who's going to stop after 7 furlongs. But I will say this: if this track is juiced to all get out, which it may be on a big stakes day, trying to get a lot of speed to carry, Windmill could be really dangerous in this spot.
So, this is a John. This is a joke for the highbrow people, watching. But
all 0 of them. Well, no, John Massey is in chat.
yeah,
so
John Massey. Evil Bob
Yeah.
Dole can kind of go either way depending. British
Some
Gamer is
he's
British.
normally.
He's British, so
Okay,
I mean, he's
British,
automatically
therefore
more.
high prospect.
He uses words like punter. So he's like already like way just ahead of the fucking game. But call me Don Quixote because I'm going to be chasing windmills. No, I'm going to wait. Hopefully, I get nothing.
It.
No,
I got it, but it was our audience is not that classy.
I think you're selling a little short. I think we're gonna get a little chuckle from John Massey at least.
Yeah, John Massey definitely.
He plays harness though. Shit.
Well, now he's just gonna give you a chuckle out of sympathy. There's no way to know if it's true or not.
This went way too long. But anyways, I did want to shout Mark out for sending me a something that's been on my I don't want to say like bucket list, but like this is like one of the bourbons I've wanted to try. It was a CYPB from Weller. Which is like impossible to find, but apparently, and what's funny, Mark, is you said that your store held on to a bottle for you, and you were like super happy. You're like a real regular there, and you're known as the expensive wine and the expensive bourbon guy, so they give you everything. Apparently, we also had a shipment of this, and like every time that we've had shipments, like big shipments of Weller, like I've never been able to get a bottle. So like when I heard about this shipment of Weller coming in again, I didn't even go to the store, and like literally it like people were posting like I don't even go to the store. They don't even know who I am, and I asked for Weller 12, and they were just giving me bottles.
Wow.
Like they just wanted to get it out. So like apparently like the one time I didn't check, like anybody and their mother could get nice bottles. So.
Yeah, the state of Vermont got 6 bottles, and all 6. And how the state of Vermont does with their rare bourbon now is they rotate through stores. And happened to be my local store was the one that got all 6 bottles of CYPB, and I got they told me they would hold one for me, and they were very nice to do so. And they sold them out in something like 15 or 20 minutes. I think like 4 of the bottles they reserved for locals, and the other 2 were bourbon snobs that drove from long distances away to get the white whale that is CYPB.
And then Brian has got one of my favorite beers, like period.
Yeah, I do like it. Zombie Dust.
Yep.
Obviously, it's a Three Floyds brew of a pale ale, and it's just it's got a nice flavor to it, something different. It's not really a summer. I don't know. It's very hoppy, but.
Hey Josh, if you're doing Canterbury plays, we got 3 minutes.
Yep.
Man.
I know, man. He's just like fucking on it, dude. Like, what the hell?
He wanted to jump right into Iowa racing. Now he's going to Minnesota.
And like the worst part is like you were like 2 words from ending your sentence,
right?
And then he's still got to jump in. Like,
That's
what the hell, Mark?
It's Brian. He could have rambled on for another 15 minutes. You never know.
Okay, insert big word. Now I'm Mark. We'll just keep going here. Now I'm going to keep talking because it's awkward, even though you wanted to go to Canterbury. I like the 8 at Canterbury. I think 4-1's a fair price. Friendly and kind. Taking a little bit of a price hit there. With the scratch of the 6, I think the 8 can control it. Let the 1 take all the money. If I can get 4-1 going to the gate, I'll probably play it.
100% agree with. I agree with Brian on his 8. I'm playing a little pick 3 here. 1-8 over 2-3 over 3-5-6. I agree. I think the 8 makes a lot of sense, and obviously the 1 makes sense. But I think you're getting a little bit of a price on the 8, who has a jock who's been doing quite well as of late.
Looks like Mr. John Massey needs a 7 or the 8 for pick 4, and John Wilbanks is just laughing at our nonsense. So thank you, John. I appreciate somebody thinks that it's a little funny. Yeah.
Did John play the 7 because it's Tequila Mary? Was this a name play? I just have to know.
Yeah, I'd love to know the logic on that 7, because that 7 just.
Sorry, Josh. I pulled a mark on you. I apologize.
No, you're good. I'm trying to do like 3 different things, and I feel like I go 1 week without doing this, and like all of a sudden I'm just like lost.
I mean, the 7 makes some sense. I'm looking at Briss here. Obviously, I like Lindy Wade. The 8 took a big step forward last out. If you go back, 2 and 3 back for that 8, the 7's competitive there. So I mean, I could see how you got there, especially at 9-2.
Yeah, there's definitely a little back class of that 7. So on second look, that 7 does make some sense. I don't hate it looking back. And you got to go back to a previous trainer, who's definitely a higher percentage trainer. But I think this is probably getting back to what the best distance for this horse is. So yeah, okay. I don't hate it in hindsight.
Like, is it just me, or is there like no speed in this race?
Yeah, it's sort of a weird race because you're expecting, well.
Does the 2 control the speed here?
I mean, I honestly, I think maybe the 1.
Fair enough. I think it's going to come from the inside. I think that makes a lot of sense.
See, I'm seeing either the 5 or the 8 on the lead per time form.
Yeah, and you know what, man? I don't know. I think 7-2 is. I know we're probably just mushing the hell out of this 8 now, but I think 7-2 is more than fair. Is more than fair on this.
Just went up here. Just went up to 4-1 for you, Josh.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna put a small little win bet here on this 8.
To be honest, I like the 8 more because the 1 is even money, and I don't think that horse is that much better than probably the 4 and the 8 and even the 7 here. I mean, that just feels like a crazy price in the 1.
Yeah, no. Looks like they're loading into the gate here, or they just loaded onto the turf course. Sorry. All right, let's. I'm gonna load up. Go back to Prairie Meadows so we can talk about this race after this. All right. Just like I got like 9 million windows going. I probably just need this. Make this smaller. There we go. There we go. Oof. So in case you guys don't know, I mean, like I know our setup looks pretty similar to what we've been doing, but we're using a slightly different software. So just getting used to where all the buttons and stuff are. A little different here. But yeah, I know you already said John Massey said this, but yeah, he says on nameplay he added the run for an Aragorn. So
how are you liking Windows 3.1? Are you finding it a little bit easier to get around than Windows 10?
Windows 3.1. My God. That's so funny. I wonder. Okay, let me try this. I think this is what I was looking for. Let's take a look here again. Nope, that didn't work. Oh well.
But does anybody actually know, is Flo really going to be in Iowa one day and then in Gulfstream the next? Is that the plan here?
That's what it looks like, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, did you guys see this? I mean, I saw Rosario.
Yeah.
Is going to be in town, and that's just like Hoonier's in town too. Ricardo will go wherever Ass Man's got his best horses, so that doesn't surprise me whatsoever. But it should be a fun card tomorrow.
And didn't Brad have Florent up in Minnesota last week? So I mean, he's going to go where he's going to go.
Yep, he had Florent up there, and my boy Jareth Loveberry and Ravelli just took it to him. I paid for my Saratoga trip. Shout out to Larry. All right, here comes our 8. Here comes everyone's 8. The 8 for the entire stream. Let's go.
Yeah, up to 4-1. At 6-1, I think John may be on the right price for the 7, man.
Yeah, he's definitely getting his price there.
Oh, the
one didn't even go. Wow.
Just all right.
8's a little more forwardly placed than I expected.
Well, it kind of is looking a little bit closer to what you were saying, Brian. You got the 2. The 2 is showing a little bit more speed. The 3 is sitting there right with him. The 8 went down to 3-1, but the 8's sitting a nice little trip. He's got a little bit of cover.
I think I'm more surprised the 7 is. Oh no, they ran 23. 7 is in a pretty good spot, really, if they don't slow this down too much.
This is like the anti-Naira, right? Like you think that there's no speed, and what happens? They go 23 and 48 and going a mile and 16th.
And you're talking that, what is this, $15,000 horses? I mean, if the 7's going to win, or $7,500 claiming horses, the 7 should have a run here.
Yeah, and Negron taking the Rosario trip here, seeing how wide he can get his horse.
Oh man,
here comes the 1.
I don't know if the 8's making up any ground. Nope. The 8's cooked.
1's coming crazy late.
But here comes a 7 too.
I think the 2's
going to run out of time. Wow. So you were right there, Brian. Yeah, if we would have played you thought the 2 was the speed, we would have played that. That would have been it. Yeah. John Massey saying the 2's gone. Well, so Mark, you don't like this, huh? Ryan pointing out that he thought that Pratt might go ride permanently in New York, and you just like.
Oh, I would love for Pratt to ride permanently in New York. That'd be great. He would become my new Julian Leparoux.
Why?
I think that Pratt gets pretty well exposed when he rides in a real jockey colony. I think he's somebody who in California takes a ton of money. He gets very, very choice mounts, and he's the top of the heap in that colony. And I think when he goes and rides in a real jockey colony that's competitive, he just gets destroyed. So he's a jockey that I like to fade when he's traveling.
See, but I kind of have the opposite approach. I'm thinking maybe he goes to New York and he does like a Rispoli type of thing where he goes to New York, he gets on turf mounts, and he actually sets pace and gets out there, because we already know the New York jockeys hate pace on a turf route. That could be Pratt's bread and butter right there.
Yeah. And you know what? Like I have seen Pratt make more aggressive moves in California than some of these New York guys would do. I think, I've seen him make, not to steal your term, Brian, I've seen him make middle moves on certain turf horses, and that I think might be winning moves in New York with the pace dynamics. But well, yeah, I mean, Steven's saying, California is small, not competitive fields, often opposite of East. Yeah, that makes sense. But all right, but now, Mark, now that you're done talking trash about one French jockey, you got your boy Flo here on Sister Annie, the 3. What did you like in this race? This was the race that you were excited to talk about. That I'll probably be all in on Windmill. Larry Jones likes to win this race. Didn't Larry Jones win this race with Street Band?
Yeah, I think he did.
Right, Street Band was Larry Jones.
Street Band sounds like the right horse. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, that does sound like the right one.
Yeah, but didn't Sophie ride Street Band?
She did.
Okay, I'll take Sophie over Alex.
Alex Berzer's winning 27% at Prairie Meadows, which I mean, once again, like every jock that's shipping in would win at like 35% in Prairie Meadows. So maybe like that's not like a real resounding like, hey, like let's go for it. But he at least knows the track. So yeah, I like Windmill here. I'll bet speed on these. I mean, I was gonna make like I'll bet speed in this case, like as if there was a case where I wouldn't bet speed. But yeah, I like Windmill here.
Hey, let me ask you a question though, since you brought up Alex's 27%. Obviously that's at Prairie Meadows, and now in this field you've got some jockeys shipping in. That winning percentage is a bit deceptive, and I'm not one that's usually betting jockeys per se, but are you going to downgrade him as a result of that? Because that's a 27%. If he was riding against these other named jockeys at all, he'd probably be a 10% jockey, right?
No, I mean, I don't think like you downgrade him like completely, but what I'm saying is like if you ship in a bunch of horses, right, and you get different jocks aboard, if you retain like the best jock in the colony, like wherever it is, like you have to think that the best jock in each colony like would at least be able to win like 8 to 10%, somewhere else, right? Although, I mean, look at what happened to Jose Valdivia, right? Jose Valdivia was winning 30% at Arlington, and now he's winning like 8. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess he's winning like 8% at Santa Anita. So maybe it does hold true.
I just bring that up because last week, obviously, I put Corey in the winner's circle.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for that.
He's a 4% or 5% jockey wherever he's racing. You put him in this race, he doesn't automatically say, "Oh, he's probably a 15% jock," right? Yeah. He's still flat right now. So that's why I'm curious. A lot of people, I think, overvalue jockeys and what they're going to do to a ride. So I just wanted to ask you.
Yeah, that's what Papa would say about us. Apparently, Papa wouldn't say that, but I remember one day we was watching a stream, like, those on the wrong lead guys, they just talk about jocks and all this other stuff. John Massey saying comparatively, Alex Berzer at Prairie Meadows is a step up from having Joe Rocco at Churchill or Talamo at Oaklawn this year. I mean, it's true.
It's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little different with a low percentage jock shipping in versus the local jock who hits at a high percentage, getting a mount in a big race. I think you've seen a lot of tracks where the local, Alex Centino at Tampa, for instance, has a tendency to win some big races when they have big races in town, when there's a lot of other classy jocks shipping in. But I would never bet him shipping to another track to ride a horse, just because he's not the local jock anymore. He doesn't have that inside knowledge and a real good understanding of the track and where he needs to move with different types and just how that pace flow feels. So I think it's a little different, but I wouldn't move him down on that horse in this situation. I will say, though, that because Josh did ask, I know we're getting close on the next post, but I think to me, all Army Wife and Paulina's Pearl are probably my A's in that race. Sister Annie, and I do like a little Windmill. I think there's a chance that Windmill could get real brave on the front end if this is really speed favoring, and Windmill seems to be the lone speed in here. So I think that's a little interesting. He's sort of a B type in this race. Another one that I am a slight bit interested in, but I don't really know what to do with, is The Grass is Blue. Junior flew out to ride this one for Bill Mott, comes out of the Chad Brown barn. I don't expect this one. I tend to not like playing anything out of the Chad Brown barn, but Bill Mott also spots them really well. So horse is a little interesting, and I don't quite know what to do with.
So I pulled up Emerald Downs here. It looks like we got a couple minutes to first post here at Emerald. I hopped in the stable duel for this. I know Better Than Vegas does they do their show. So I know they're just wrapping up right now. They were live talking through some of this. I listened to a little bit of it, but while we were kind of prepping. So check them out next time they're on if you're interested in playing some stable duel. But I actually kind of like this one. Was it Lon's Daylight? Until I see otherwise, I am just gonna if I see a horse and I think it's on the inside and I think it's got a shot at getting the lead, you got to play it at this point. So this was my play in stable duel. I was 8-1 on the morning line. I don't have my spreadsheet up. Mark, you off the top of your head, you remember what price that is?
I don't remember what price that is as a dollar amount.
There we go. I got my cheat sheet here. 8-1 in the morning line. We got $3,000 here. So that was my first play in this race. I see that this horse is floating up. It's 11-1. So this is definitely a win bet for me. And I just realized I'm on the wrong thing. So I'm going to go ahead and put a win bet on this horse. Your favorite is going to be, I believe, the 6 Cribs. The horses ran 6 times. Finished second by 11, once. So the horse hasn't really shown much in his starts. Is marked as an E6, but has gotten the lead twice and just not really held on much past first call. So,
sorry.
No, go for it.
They're loading in here, and just looking at Briz real quick, none of these horses have actually ran close to par for what Emerald has here. So at that, I'm interested in the 8 at 8, or the 2 at 8-1. Sorry, yep. The first time starter. I think 8-1's a nice price there. I like the 3. The 3 showed nice improvement last out, but it will have to improve again here to win. But at 7-2, that's too short for me to be interested. So obviously I'm not playing, but if I was, I think the 2 Lute's Little Gift to 8-1 would be my win bet here. With what I've seen from both the 5 and the 6, I have a hard time placing money on either one of those horses in a win bet.
Yeah, well, to add on to what Brian said, 20% first start trainer, 20% debut meeting claiming trainer. Obviously over 12 this meet, but I'm very interested in that horse. Really good, smart looking work pattern horse that, that 47 47 flat 4 furlong work 2 back is kind of jumps off the page at you. So I would agree when you see these kind of races where no one stands out and you don't feel like anybody is interesting, I'll take a price on a firster like that.
Yeah, John Wilbanks likes the 3 here. I'm going to do a little action. I know, I'm going to do a little action. I'm just going to box up the inside 3 horses. The cheap, the more expensive, the shorter prices are on the outside. I'm just going to box the inside 3. We'll gamble a little bit here.
Yeah, I have a 2-5-6 over 1 daily double here as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, I honestly ended up on a ton of 1 horses, and I don't know if it was because all the speed was drawn inside or.
There we go.
There we go.
The 3 seemed like it kind of missed the break there. Sorry for that one, John. I think looks like they're not quitting though.
And now this 2 can get nice and brave on the front end. Hopefully, it's not going stupid fast.
Looks like the jockey in the 5's already working pretty hard for where they're at.
Yep. And this looks like this 2's very much in hand.
Agreed.
Quick, not crazy.
Yeah, the jockey's hands aren't really moving yet, man.
I really just need the 6 to tire out. That's really all I need. And I just
look at that. He's not even moving. Jockey's not even moving his left hand.
He looks like he's loaded from here.
There we go. Draw off.
Yep, there you go. Just took the rate off. Very nicely done.
I don't think the 1's not getting up for you, Josh.
No, the 1 is not getting up for me.
Sorry, Josh.
It's just fucking
Hey, Brian, we're over here giving daylight winners at 8-1.
I know. You don't see that too often. Hopefully, you guys played it. Man, that was a nice price.
Very nice price, and a horse that in those types of situations just makes a ton of sense to use.
That's my typical, right there. That's a mythical tournament type play for me because horse had a ton of room. Obviously, in something like Stable Duel, 5-1 might have been a little short in the morning line. So, depending what you like later in the card, you would have had to really press there, I think. Because 5-1 we say that's 4,000.
Yeah, that's
6,000.
6,000. That's a lot to spend for a first-time starter there.
Yeah, I mean, I took half that price, right? I took half that price on Stable Duel, and my horse ended up 3rd. I finished behind a ton of lengths, so I'll probably only get 10, 11 points, I think, total. But hey, I'm not fucking negative first race because I'll tell you what, dude. Last night I played Emerald Downs, and I was just betting speed again, and I didn't even want to watch any more races after the 3rd race because I was negative 40 or something crazy. I don't even know what I was. And I was just like, this is ridiculous. I was like, well, thank you. There's my donation. On the plus side though, I hit the late pick 4 at Emerald. It only paid $70, but I think I only invested $10, so $10 or $12. So, I did see the ball somewhat well eventually, but I guess I should bring up the huge mistake I made today. Should I even bring that up, Mark?
That's your call. I mean, you can talk about it. We've all done it.
So last night, I recorded our podcast on Tuesday, right? Tuesday night. So I released it Tuesday night. It goes out Wednesday. And I went and I previewed the Woodbine Pick 5. And I went through it. There was 2 races I absolutely hated the chalk. Went ahead. I faded that chalk. I went and I built what I thought was a pretty nice ticket. I had a couple of huge double-digit odd horses that eventually in real time ended up getting bet down a lot. But I had this nice ticket, and so I literally had meetings all day today. So I log into my ADW. I put in my pick 5 ticket that I gave out, and I'm like watching the races, sitting there doing stuff, and I look and I'm like out in the third leg, and I'm like, fuck, that sucks. Like, okay. And it was like a 20-1 horse that got bet down to 5-2. And I'm like, man, it's like, okay, someone used something, whatever. So I go and I look at my notes. And apparently I had the horse. And there was a mystery horse that was the next number down that I did not have anywhere. So I fat fingered the horse, the 1, instead I used the 2 in that third leg, and cost me about $700, I think, today. So I had like a $14 ticket, I think it was $14.40, and I scaled it up, and I fat fingered a nice little score there, which was kind of frustrating, but.
I don't know if it makes you feel any better, but your big Kentucky Oaks score where we had that. Well, I think you had the pick 4 and I had the pick 5, and you made however much it was that big score. Yep. There was a late pick 5 that ended in there was 2 races after the Oaks, and there was a late pick 5 that day. I hit the first pick 5 for I paid like $7,000-ish, and I fat fingered a ticket on the late that would have paid another $7,000. So we've all been there. It happens.
I mean, we could talk about how else we lost $7,000 that weekend, but I think we've talked about that enough. Ryan
that was at a 0 to your 7,000.
Yeah, Woodbine's crazy right now, dude. I love Woodbine. I love synthetic tracks. I like Arlington. I know it's my local track, but I don't know. It's just fun to bet. They got nice turf racing. Same thing with Woodbine. Like, honestly, Woodbine is very similar to Arlington. They got the synthetic track, but they have they have 2 very nice turf courses, and I like the racing there.
The problem I have with Arlington, and I do love Arlington, is if there's a little bit of morning dew on the grass, they take it off the turf. Not this year, obviously.
Nope.
But historically, that's been their problem, is they wouldn't run on the turf at all.
Yeah, that's been kind of funny about this year, right? Is that they're just like, fuck it, like we're probably not running past this year, just fucking chew it up. So yeah, it's. We still got to get out there, Bri. We'll have to get out there. I know you were out there last week.
I ended up not being out there last week. I was not feeling well after my vaccination, so I had to cancel my my trip.
I should probably make a trip out to Arlington before they close it down and turn it into the new Bears stadium.
You might be better off waiting till like 5 more years and coming out and meeting the Bears running back.
Yeah, okay. That's good. Yeah.
I know. I was thinking about going the 17th, which is, I know we're fucking off topic here for a bit, but I was thinking about going the 17th, which is like, what do they call it, Bryce? Stars and Stripes Day or something like that, or
that's what they used to call it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's essentially it's Arlington Million Preview Day. So it's all the like winning your ins for those races, and it's just a nice little stakes card, and like. You're not upcharged as much. So like a box was like, I think it was like $150, and I think it was like 5 seats. So it's not terrible. But I don't know. We'll have to talk about that. Ryan asking if anyone's thinking about coming out to Del Mar.
It's funny.
Let's not talk about it.
We had plans to be at Breeders' Cup, Ryan, and then things changed a little bit.
Yeah, we were supposed to be out there.
Yeah, my sister decided to schedule her wedding on Breeders' Cup weekend, or else I would be at Del Mar. I'm only a little bitter.
Yeah. Oh well.
BCBC 2023.
2023. What about 2022?
2022. I don't know. Oh no, 2022 is at Churchill, so I will not replay BCBC if it's Churchill. So it'll be 2023.
2022 Churchill BCBC. I'll at least be at the Breeders' Cup. Breeders' Cup within driving distance. You have to go when you can.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that, Brian. Maybe we'll do something.
If they'd ever run the Breeders' Cup on the East Coast again, that'd be
all
cool.
right, Josh. That settles it. We're going to rent a 1995 van that turns into the RV. We're going to sleep in the back of it. We'll just wing it.
Are you on the way? Like if I were to drive,
I am on the way.
Yeah. We should do that then. Yeah, there we go.
Sorry, Mark. You're not on the way.
He can be if he flies in the Midway.
Well, why wouldn't I just fly into Louisville or Lexington, whichever one Churchill's in.
Well, because then you won't be on the way. Like that was the whole fucking point, Mark.
Yeah, don't you want to stop? Don't you want to stop and have horrible Taco Bell drive-through on the trip down I-65? Of course you do.
Dude, is it the Skyway? Is it the Skyway that's got the Hardee's and Popeyes on like just across the Indiana border, or is it 80 or is it 94?
Oh yeah, you're right. It's a Skyway.
Skyway?
You pay the $9 to come across this bridge. Welcome to Indiana. Now here's a Hardee's in the middle of the damn highway. Like, why would you put a Hardee's right in the middle of the highway?
Yeah, I ate at the Hardee's. I forgot where I was going, but I remember stopping at that Hardee's.
It blows my mind because it's the only Hardee's within like 150 miles of northern Indiana. It's in the middle of the toll road. Yeah,
they built one in West Chicago, and it closed down. It like a brand new one, like closed down. I don't know. It's like the only fast food joint around here that I've ever seen closed down.
Sorry, Mark. The big guys took over the conversation. We're talking about fast food and deep fried goodness.
I mean, you could have just said, I won't pick on either of your girth.
the full-figured male is making a comeback in 2021. Yes.
Dad bod. I mean, I hear dad bod's in now.
All right, so British Gamer says that he's going to be backing the 7 at Canterbury here in the next race, and he wants us to guess why.
Okay.
Looks like got even smarter.
Got even smarter.
Oh, it's because Rye Eccleberry's on.
That's
why, because he was making fun that we were dissing jocks. We jumped the shark. We went too far the other way. We didn't respect jocks enough. And British Gamer's going to back the 7 here. I wonder what kind of odds he's getting overseas. It looks like we're getting 6-1 here on the tote. So I wonder what he's punting at.
So we've gone full opposite Popo now. Is that what you just said?
Yes, yep. We just did the reverse Popo.
Oh man.
All right, we can actually talk about horse races that you made me handicap at places that I didn't want to have to handicap. Or?
Yeah. So who did you like in this race then? Who did you like in this?
Pauline's Pearl and Army Wife for my top 2.
Pauline's Pearl and Army Wife, Brian.
Yep.
Oh, the question mark I had on the paper on my piece of paper here was: will Sister Annie be the leader? At 6-1, probably going to leave a little bit of price at the tote. Has a little bit of a weight advantage there. If the tote stays true to that, where the Sister Annie may be 5-1 ish, I really like that horse. But I do think Pauline Pearl's going to sit the trip, right? Probably be able to sit a perfect stalking trip. As long as Ricardo doesn't get to be Ricardo, I think Pauline's Pearl will win. But at 5-1, Sister Annie is going to interest me a lot.
Yeah, Sister Annie was more of I made her a B because of just the idea that she sits a perfect trip, perfect stalking trip. And I mean, it should set up and fall into her lap. She just has to be good enough. And I don't know if she is. So we'll see. And also of jocks that I don't know. Of jocks that I want to sit that perfect stalking trip, Flo scares me a little because he occasionally does the Rosario where he lets the pace get a little bit too much away from him.
Now, Pauline's Pearl is the classiest horse, I think, right? And classiest horse ran in the Kentucky Oaks. In here, Army Wife. I think Army Wife makes a lot of sense because
there's a couple others that ran in the Oaks.
Was there?
The 5.
Oh, the 5. The grass is blue.
Oh no, I'm sorry. She ran the Black Eyed Susan. My bad. I was thinking she ran.
I was gonna say she's the only Oaks horse, but. Pauline's Pearl is a class. But I do like of the 2 short prices, I think I prefer Army Wife just because ran the Black Eyed Susan and won, right? So the horse is coming in with at least some kind of form, right? I'm always a little weary of horses like Pauline's Pearl where they run in like a grade 1, right? And they step down to a grade 2, grade 3, and they finished way out of it, but the speed figure they got is competitive because I always have to think about it a little bit. I don't know. I only have Briz up, so I don't know how Pauline's Pearl looks like on DRF or time form, but I would assume that the number is probably pretty solid just because of the class aspect that it's a Kentucky Oaks. But I mean, I would think that winning the Black Eyed Susan is probably better than finishing 8th by a million lengths in the Kentucky Oaks. I don't know. So I mean, based off that, Army Wife makes of the short prices makes is like more interesting to me. So I'll probably just use Army Wife, and then I'll use the 7 Windmill. The 6 does interest me a little bit, just because she did win. I'm guessing this is like a prep for this race, the Panthers, and stalked the pace and won, and beat Sister Annie, and you're gonna get a little bit better price. But I think 1 and 7 will probably be the horses that I key around here.
Hey. Oh, sorry.
Were you talking about? Oh, he's talking about. I saw John Wilbanks, but he's talking about different thing. What were you gonna say, Brian?
No, I also got confused by John.
Yeah, I think John is John looking at Canterbury, I'm guessing.
I believe he is. I think the British Gamer's got a nice horse here in the 7. Got even smarter. Never mind the rye factor. I mean, the horse I thought had a lot of value. At 9-2, I'm not so sure here. Man, I can't figure out other than rye. That's the key for why he's picking them.
Yeah, let me pull up my other past performances here on my other screen.
We're only 3 minutes opposed to Canterbury. I ended up playing a 2-3 over 3-5-6 daily double. Very, very, very small, 100% action bet because like to have something live.
You can't tell me we both ended up on a 2 again. Soriso.
Yep.
I mean, the two looks like lone speed here.
Really does.
It looks like he's gonna get loose. Let me take a look here and
I mean, the Dio horse makes some sense, but boy, you got to squint a little bit because the figs just aren't fast enough. But you're hoping that the gelding plus the move into the Dio barn, being very good first off the claim, moves this one up. But boy, 2 really just kind of looks like lone speed, and I think that horse has just a ton of chance of getting loose and never looking back.
Yeah, and it looks like he got a little bit more pace pressure in that race. And that pace pressure is just not here in this race. Yeah, the horse that won that race, pretty much pressed.
Here comes all the live stream money. We're taking our odds getting murdered.
Well, we are influencers. It's not our fault.
We are.
Yeah, hashtag influencers.
I mean, I've got 12 Twitter followers now, so I mean, I'm getting up there.
Yeah, I mean, we all got nice shirts too. Well, I'm wearing my Stable Duel shirt, and then Mark is. Brian is a little bit more subtle with the.
Super. Hold up, there we go.
I'll do those. There you go.
I'm going to go with the Tony La Russa here.
The Russa. Oh man. Yeah, I like this too. This 2's gonna get loose. 2 is getting hammered now. But
like I said, Discord slashed our stream money. All rolling in.
So,
yeah, I know. I took all the credit for that 20-1 getting bet down to 5-2 in my head.
See, I love British Gamer here because he's still talking about the 7. He says 10-1 is great value. So he's obviously got 10-1 fixed odds overseas, which I am so jealous of. At 10-1, that 7 is a hardcore play, British Gamer. I am completely on board with you there.
So apparently we aren't true sellouts. We still need to play the commercial like 5 times.
Well, aren't you going to need another bourbon here in a minute? I figured that was going to end up happening again.
Yeah, by the way, how was the bourbon I sent you?
The bourbon was delicious. This was really good. It was just nice. It didn't really stand out I'm not going to say it was like a life-changing pour or anything like that, but it was just really, really good. I can see why people really like this. It sucks, right? It's if you were to tell me that this bottle was $60 or $50 or whatever you paid for it, and you could find it all the time, I'd be like, yeah, I would fucking always have this on hand. But
exactly,
with it just being impossible to find, I don't know, I'm not gonna pay $100, $200 for this bottle.
It was going for $1,200 online.
Speaking of paying $100 for a bottle, it was funny. Ed DeRosa on Twitter was talking about They did a store pick. He went and picked a barrel out for, it says LFG horse racing here.
Oh yeah.
So he picked a bottle from Woodinville, which is, I believe, in Oregon, no, Washington. And it's funny because, you know, there's a whiskey group that I'm a part of in on Facebook, and they didn't do a pick, but I think a store in Chicago did a pick for Woodinville, and people were raving about it. So I saw Ed said he had a couple extra bottles. The bottles I think are like $70 or $80, but with shipping, I think it came out to $100 shipped. But I was excited to try it, and he's like super geeked, but he also picked the barrel. So like you would hope that he likes it, because if he fucking picked the barrel, like you would hope that he actually enjoys what's in it. But yeah, I'm gonna try and get this bottle open, which has not been a forte of mine on live streams.
He's gonna open it on the live stream.
I'm trying to.
There's some history here of this being an absolute miserable experience. I mean, if the other things we don't already make us look like idiots, this clearly normally does make us look like an idiot.
Ooh. I'm going to redirect. John Massey, I agree completely.
John Wilbank says, as a Cubs fan, I hate Tony La Russa.
Oh, no, John, I'm a Sox fan, and I'm not a Tony fan. I've never been a Tony fan.
Dude, everyone was so mad when they saw that Tony La Russa got like the managerial position. Like,
but see, now I'm going to circle this back to horse racing. Baseball is just like horse racing. They recycle the same tired executives and race directors with the same old ideas, and they just try them at different tracks. So now here's Tony back in Chicago doing the same crap he did in everywhere else he's managed. So it's just they stick with what they know. The owners have their circle of comfort, or whatever you want to call it. And
are you saying that Tony La Russa is just Mike Smith?
No, I'd say he's probably, if we're going to go with the horse racing term, he'd be like married into the Stronach family or something.
Hey guys, I got it open.
What you're not going to see, viewers, is he's got half that bottle in his lap right now.
All right, they're loading the gate here.
So the two took a ton of money. Wow.
Who did I play him? I gotta actually pull up my stable. Where's my phone? Because I don't know who I played in Stable Duel here.
I'm gonna root for the 7 here for our buddy over there, the British Gamer. I've got no action at that price.
Yeah, Road Warrior 1 can only hope.
Oh man, that 2 got out. That 2 is.
Yep. Don't know if I love this ride though.
No, that's 6.5 furlongs, lone speed. You had to take the speed. You had to go.
You had to go, but man, this feels like one of those. The horse comes apart.
Oh no. Oh, 21. Oh.
Yeah, this just looked real.
It's fast. 20. It's basically 22.
Okay,
he's just a little airborne. He's still good.
22 might have been a little much.
Yeah, that's my thing. It just
look at him.
He's aiming to get nailed at the wire here.
I wish I could do the fucking Irish guy, ride him like his secretariat or whatever that one fucking ad was. Oh, he's not gonna make it.
Nope.
He's gonna get swallowed up.
Oh yeah. Here comes the favorite.
Oh my god.
You didn't have to run 22, but if this was in New York and a jockey didn't take the lone speed to the front, we'd complain. So, I mean, that was the only angle they had on that horse.
I mean, he didn't have to run 22. Did he have to run 44?
I'm like I said, I'm glad I said, right before, when they're loading, it was 5-2, and I backed off and said there's no action for me, and I'm glad I did. But man, that was okay.
Giving out 8-1 winners, and then
Just whiffing.
Losing the next
Whiffing
race.
hole.
That's fine.
No, it's okay. I gave out the 8-1 winner, and then I peeled back that selection. So we're fine.
Yeah.
We're doing fine.
We both actually really liked the 8-1 winner. That horse we didn't really like.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm just gonna put this out there. I don't really have a pick for Emerald Downs in race 2, but it's post time.
Yeah, I like this. I am singled to the 1 in the pick 4 and a pretty slam daily double.
All right, what do you got here? You got the 1?
Irish Terrier. Yep.
Oh, dude, I was all freaking out because I was like, dude, I had the 3. Then I realized I'm playing Emerald, not Canterbury.
Oh.
I do have the 3. I have the 3 party for 1 here.
I like the 2 and the 4 here, man.
Really?
I have the 3. I have it in stable duel. I'll have to let me pull up my PPs here and see if I actually want to bet real money on this.
Yeah, Mark. The angle on the 2 there is the horse is 0 for 4 on a fast dirt track, and usually a 5th time out they figured out.
Yes, obviously. That's a great. Yeah, Irish Terrier.
Oh no! Fucking British Gamer taking it both ways. The 5 was 11-8, so he laid it, and then it went out to 9-4, and Bloody Market.
Bloody.
I don't know if he meant bloody market as in like this bloody market, or as in like the market is bloody and he like is actually losing blood.
He could work as a butcher. Anything's possible.
So you like the 1 Irish Terrier? Yeah, I went with party. I went with party for 1. I think I thought that party for 1 was the faster horse, but yeah, I went with party for 1 because I thought it was a faster horse. I think the
Yeah, no, I know speed's been good, and I thought, I agree with you. I think Party for 1 is the faster horse. There's just a lot of things I didn't love about Party for 1.
I'm just kind of surprised at the price. I thought that the horse would take a little bit more money.
It seems like the form's been really off as of late. Albeit the trainer is stupidly good first off the claim. So.
And I think Alex Cruz has like if I remember correctly, he's got like some stupid streak where like he's like won a race on every card going back like 5 years or something.
Wow.
It's some nuts. It might not be 5 years, and I'm probably just like pulling that on my ass. And maybe John Massey remembers the stat from the simulcast, but John Massey also strikes me as someone who watches all this stuff on mute. So maybe he's just like not looking at all.
I also watch all this stuff on mute. So
I'm taking a 1-2-4 exacta box here.
The 2 got the lead? Okay. Two got the lead, and he's on the rail now.
You go on with that, Jose. Let's see, I got 24.
23 and 1.
I'll take that. Now slow it down even more. Bring us home at like 47.5. This is where Chase comes in handy because he provides us our play-by-play.
Yep. Yeah, because I would not even dare to try and call.
No, I wouldn't either. None of us have the race calling chops.
Horse went faster the second quarter. I'm screwed.
All right, the jock on the 3 is doing the hoppy thing. He's getting the horse going a little bit.
The hoppy thing.
What is the hoppy thing, Josh?
Where they're going like this, right? They're going like this on top of the horse. Like they're getting.
This is where the guy at the OTB is yelling "hump the horse."
They're working the horse, but they're not working the horse just with their arms. They're also going with the legs. They're doing the double pump.
Well, my 1 ain't gonna happen from here.
Come on, let's go with this route. Come
on. No, you're not. You're not one of these.
Here comes the 4 in the middle of the track. Hold on, 2.
Nope, your 2's going to get there.
I don't want to say it, fellas, but that is 2 races at Emerald Downs. The 2 is 1 that I've had both of them. Let's just put that out there.
So, just bet the 2 the rest of the night? Is that what you're saying?
And I'm just saying that horse is also 8-1. That's back-to-back 8-1 at Emerald Downs for Brian.
Like John Massey is completely like correct here. He's like, no one is gonna gain. This is
Right.
Emerald. Like my horse was like 5 lengths back, and I got excited because he was finally getting into the horse. Like I don't know.
So this brings me back to my angle. You know, the fifth time out on fast dirt, the horse seems to find form.
Brought to you by Stats Race Lens.
I'm going to use this at Saratoga just to piss Mark off at least once. It's gonna be
I'll be pissed off more than once at Saratoga. I'm only pissed off once the first day. It'll be a thing.
Dude, do you guys remember there was a day? I don't know if this is last year or 2 years ago, but there was a horse at Saratoga that won a stakes race. It was a fucking Star Guitar. I don't remember if it was Minute to Stardom or might have been Minute to Stardom.
I think it was Minute to Stardom.
It was a filly, and like I remember Tom. Our boy Tom was live and like pick something, and I'm like, get on with this Star Guitar horse, and I fucking like put like $5 on it. And it was like the longest price on the board. It was like 13-1 or something in like a 5-horse field, and yeah, I felt really bad because like I think I just like busted the entire chat with some stupid Star Guitar horse that I only bet because of the commercial, but happens, right?
There's always that one guy.
All right.
So you want to talk to Prairie Meadows?
We should probably talk Prairie Meadows because we are deep into this and we're doing some live action betting here.
Well, Road Warrior says it was at 20-1 and that ad was on for a freaking year. So yeah, it was Minute to Stardom 20-1.
And Road Warriors post was brought to you by Run Happy.
Yeah.
Isn't everything brought to you by Run Happy or Stable Duel? One of the two.
Well, we like Stable Duel.
Yeah, we do. We don't like, well, Run Happy had a nice hot start to the year. I don't know how he's done lately, but is this this is the Knicks go right? Yeah. Even money on the morning line. That's funny. What do you think Knicks go goes off at 1-9?
I think he's going to go off amazingly short, and I don't like him here.
I'm just going to shoot this out there because I like to yell out my picks before Mark takes all the thunder. I like tenfold here. Go ahead, make fun of me.
I mean, he went with tenfold. Like, I will pick on tenfold. Yeah,
I know, but I mean, tenfold fits here, man. If you go by just Briss, tenfold fits and will offer price or value because what Knicks go is going to get bet down to.
If you stand on one leg and squint hard enough, tenfold makes sense. Sure, okay, whatever. No, I mean, I wouldn't talk anyone off from tenfold. Just a horse that I've had enough of, and I'm looking back 10 races and I don't see a win. So tenfold hasn't won since 2018 or something. He just doesn't get it done. Now he's a horse to fill out your trifecta, sure, but not a horse I want a lot of. And not to talk if you want to talk more, Brian, I'll let you go, but. I think for me, when I look at this race, Knicks Go is off form. And yeah, if you go back to, the fall of 2020, he was a just dominant force. And he was, that Breeders' Cup Mile was a monster race. And, and his Peg was also a very monster race. Went to Saudi and he came back, and I don't know how you excuse the Metropolitan Handicap. Maybe you excuse it just on purely the Saudi bounce, but it feels like since he's been off Lasix, and I guess where I'm going with this is it him being off Lasix that has caused his form to go off, or is it the fact that he's just not the same horse he was last year? He's a year older, and it's just coming apart at the seams. He makes a ton of sense in here, but you need a rebound from a couple of races ago. You got to squint a little bit at the price he'll be. I would just probably let him beat me in here. And the horses that I would want to use to let him beat me would be either Last Judgment or Modernist, who are both horses that fit on time for him. Modernist loves this distance, and Last Judgment to me is a horse that seems to be in really good form. And Jose Ortiz, I think, is flying out just to ride this one mount. So says a lot. At least from how I look at it. So, to me, I think, you play the sort of contrarian game theory game, and you let Knicks go beat you, and you use, for me it's Last Judgment and Modernist, and I think for Brian it's Tenfold.
Well, no, that's not completely true. I just think Tenfold's interesting. But let me ask you this, though. If you go by Briss, Last Judgment, since Josh has it pulled up right there, appears to be an on and off pattern. I mean, look at that. 105 for the speed last out. If you just go by that, 1 last out, 2 back lost, ran a low number, then 1 at 100, then you see what I'm saying? So I'm curious if that pattern continues on 6-7 weeks rest here, Last Judgment may be a bounce candidate.
My thing with Last Judgment is I think you're seeing the Briz distance effery that goes on, where they very much rate races different based on the distance. On time form, which I trust a lot more, his last races are a 123, a 122, a 124, and a 124. So he has been effectively running the same race, if not. He's been very, very consistent on time form. And I trust time form figs more than I trust any other figure. I agree on Briz. He does look like an every other type, but Byers does not see it that way. Byers actually has his a little bit every other, but his last race looking pretty good, and time form sort of gives his last 4 all really consistent figures. So, I think to me, if you were to, force me to pick a horse, it's probably Last Judgment in here.
So do you think that the fact that you don't think the fact that Nixco is able to run on Lasix here is going to be of help?
That's a sort of argument you have to make. Is it the Lasix that was making him good? And I realize he did win the peg without Lasix, but we all know that's kind of a little bit funky with some other things with how Lasix works in Florida.
That was a horrible field, though. Let's be honest.
That was a terrible. Yeah, I mean, who did he beat?
Jesus' team is a decent miler, and Independence Hall can run like 7 furlongs, and that's about it, right?
Yeah. So there wasn't much in that field. And then, he came off the Lasix in both the Saudi and the Met Mile. So what do you kind of, and he was very, 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 very short in the Met Mile, and he was just deadpan flat. Like, that was a terrible race. So you have to kind of make that argument of, is he, I guess you can say it was the Lasix. If you think it's the Lasix, then he's an ice cold single. If you think that he's off form, something's going on, there's something wrong, which is kind of what I kind of lean into. Maybe he's just over this racing game. Then I think you want to look elsewhere.
Yeah, and that was where my notes ended up, Mark. I actually wrote down Tenfold fits, but Tenfold. That was my note on Tenfold. Modernist, according to Briss, ran a career best last out. I mean, I couldn't play Knicks Go here at the price you're going to see. I do think, depending on what the tote board goes with, Modernist, Last Judgment are probably your most likely plays for a lot of people. I think if you're playing any kind of tournament, I think they're going to be heavy selections there.
Yeah, I mean, I would think if you are playing something like a stable duel tournament, you probably don't use. Well, I don't know. I don't know how you play like a stable duel tournament, how you manage a horse like Nixco that's going to be that short. I think I would try to be finding that second place horse. Worst case, Nixco beats you, he beats you, and find that horse with that upside.
Well, the bright side is that this is not a stable duel contest. Okay. But for the sake of game theory, though, I think you either love Knicks Go or you hate Knicks Go and you love somebody else, or you have to skip the race. But
by the way, I just expanded my listings, and the last time that Tenfold won was the Pimlico Special in May of 2019. So I over exaggerated a touch.
Josh, who do you like here?
I kind of. I don't think I can take Knicks Go at the short price. I like Knicks Go. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll probably be another, strong contender for the Breeders' Cup Mile. If they try to run him in the Classic, I think that would be a fool's errand. But I think he'll be fine in the Breeders' Cup Mile. I think he gets a couple more races in him with Lasix if possible. And then, is the Breeders' Cup Mile, I'm guessing, is going to be off Lasix, right? Or is it on?
It's at Del Mar, I would imagine on.
Because the older horses, right, are still on. So, like,
Yeah.
I think he's going to be fine. Like, I don't know. I just think, like, I think it's tough, right, with these older horses. Like, okay, 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds running off Lasix, like, that's fine, right? Because guess what? Most of those horses aren't running on Lasix anyways, right? So it's not like you're taking them on and off. I think it's kind of unfair to do this to the older horses. I know, what was it? There was it Imprimis, right? The famous thing where, like, they thought he bled, but maybe he just hit his face on the gate and was bleeding because of that. But his trainer was pissed. It's like look, this horse has run on Lasix his entire career, and now you're telling us, hey, he can't. Like, how does that make sense? And like I think that's a totally valid point. So I don't know. I think once the horse has kind of like is used to running on it, like, I don't know. I think it's a little unfair to kind of take them on and off. So I think that there's a little bit of fuckery with that kind of stuff going on, but I still think it's going to take a couple races for Nick Sko to kind of if he shows up at Saratoga somewhere. And really, do you think that Brad Cox has got him cranked up to win the Cornhusker?
No,
I mean,
not at all.
He's like he's got to be thinking Breeders' Cup Mile again.
Again, he did ship him out there when he didn't have to. He could have brought him up to Saratoga, or he could have kept. Well, I guess you don't have any Kentucky options this time of year. Where do you go? He'd either be at Saratoga or
Ellis.
In what?
I guess he's like if even if the horse is short, right, and it needs one. Hey, maybe he sucks up for second. Maybe he wins this race still, like, not at his best. Like, sure, but who cares? Like, the horse is going to be super short, and I am not going to put a single cent through him. I listened to my buddy Nico. He was on the podcast for with Jason Beam, and he was just talking. He's like, look, like, sometimes, like, you just got it. You're just contrarian for contrarian's sake, and like that's how you score big. And I think in this case, I think maybe you just toss Nick Sko again, and you try and maybe key a horse like Last Judgment on top, with your Modernist and your Tenfold underneath, and hey, like just hammer that, toss Nick Sko out of the equation, and see what happens. Like, if Nick Sko wins, like, I'm not surprised. I don't think Nick Sko wins this race 50% of the time, let alone whatever
that's what I'm going to take. Yeah, I think Nico maybe is a 50-50 shy here. Yeah, maybe he needed one off the Saudi bounce, and maybe Lasix moves him forward. I sort of have to put like double asterisks next to that one. I think he's a 50% winner of this race. If I can get 2-1 on him, sure, but I'm gonna get 1-9 on him, or probably 1-5 on him. There are some.
I think you get 2-5. Yeah, I think you get 2-5.
Yeah, there are some real horses in here. I mean, Last Judgment. There's some names in here that haven't, are not names as of late, but they are names. And at one point in time, I was a big Tenfold fan, and he's just massively disappointed me the last 2 years. So I'm no longer on the Tenfold bandwagon.
So just to put it out there, because Josh talked about Nico being contrarian to be contrarian. I take that approach a lot. The perfect example is last weekend's stable duel contest. I finished dead last, and I'm proud of it. I played to either win by 100 points or lose. There was no middle ground for me, and I took some stances, that if I was right, was going to pay off huge. And so I can completely understand somebody sitting there saying, I'm going to be contrarian just to be different here, because this is a race where you could find something. So, it'll be interesting to see how the tote goes, but I think you're both right. I think 2-5 is probably a fair price. And, I'd probably force my hand a little bit here to find value elsewhere. So,
all right, let's, so Brian, are you for sure going to Indiana Derby?
I will be at Indiana Derby next Wednesday.
Yep.
It's a pretty late post time for the Derby. I think it's like 8:20 Eastern time.
Really?
Next Wednesday. I made plans to go, and I was hopeful that Essential Quality was going to run since he was nominated there. But they put out their, I think a couple hours ago they listed the field, and I think the field's going to be pretty good. Personally, I think it'll be a fun day, and I like Indiana Grand, so I'm going to go down there. Obesos will probably be the horse everybody's going to love. So we'll see. We'll have a chance to talk about that later, but it should be a good day.
See, and then the funny thing is, I thought compared to the Iowa Derby field, that it looked a little weak. I thought, but I'm trying to pull up the scratches. Do we have scratches already for tomorrow? I didn't see if any horses scratched out.
Oh, actually, I was completely wrong. The article I'm reading now, Obesos was not entered in the Indiana Derby after a bad workout today.
Oh, that's right. They kind of pulled him.
They pulled him. So, not now the Indiana Derby is probably lacking a little bit, but it's still a great day, and I like Indiana Grand.
Okay, if I remember correctly, Proxy scratched. I think Proxy is the only one.
Oh, I will give it to you. Indiana is a very good track. I do very much enjoy playing some Indiana Grand. I've done very, very well there historically for a track that I don't play that often.
Okay, I think Proxy is the only horse that's scratched tomorrow. I know I saw one horse got scratched, but what time are you heading down there, Brian?
It's about a 2.5 hour drive, 2 hour and 15-minute drive for me. I like to get there early and see what they're doing to the track. I think you guys were privy to my parking garage photos last time I went down there when they were harrowing the track, and I think it did help us that day. So I'll probably shoot to get down there about noon, give or take.
Interesting.
Well, think about it, Josh.
I'll think about it.
And there's a Hardee's with our name on it.
Ooh. I mean, now you're speaking my language, But yeah, so Proxy scratched out of this one. And so I think that was kind of, Nova Rags is a little bit of a, what did Nova Rags run in? He ran in the Woody Stevens in the Florida Derby. So he's probably the other kind of name horse in here. You got a couple Cox horses in here in Snowhouse and Gagetown. Yeah, Mark, what did you look at through in this race here?
Wait, what race are we talking about?
It's the Iowa Derby.
Oh, the Iowa Derby. 1 second. I thought we had already covered the Iowa Derby. 1 second.
No, we just kind of flipped through it.
Give me a second here.
Well, he needs a second, so
Brian, if you got it, yeah. What do you got here?
I'm going to open my mouth here. I think Flash of Mischief is interesting. I don't mean to steal Josh's horse, but horse has shown a lot of early speed. Probably going to set the pace, I would guess. Super Stock at 7-2. I like Super Stock, but I hate the morning line. That's going to be something I've got to watch the tote for to see if there's a play. It's actually going to be a very competitive field. I love the fact that there's 5 horses, I think, between 6-1 and 8-1. That tells you right there that either the morning line maker doesn't know what they're doing, and this field's tight and close, and it's going to make for a great race to watch. Man, if I had to give a pick right now, I'd probably say Super Stock's probably an A horse for me, but I would look for Flash of Mischief at like 10-1, 11-1 to hopefully steal the race up front.
Mark, you got anything?
No, I don't really have anything. I actually didn't cap the race. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I kind of like one of the Cox horses in this spot. The 7 Gagetown does have a run over the track here. Did get beat Flash of Mischief last time out. So I thought the horse was interesting here. I think that this is probably the at Flo's aboard. I'm guessing that this is the more live Cox horse. So I'll probably roll with this one. But yeah, I think it's just going to be a fun card to play. They run at night, if I remember correctly. Please don't tell me I'm wrong. Yeah. So like Iowa Derby, the post time is 8:12 Central.
Yep.
Or 7:12 Central. Sorry. No, 8:12. Yeah, I was right. Sorry. I always get my fucking I get my time zones mixed up. But Prairie Meadows is a fun little track to play at night. You know, I don't think they do anything with Stable Duel, unfortunately, but it's a fun little track. I remember, you know, Kent DeSormo one night was just like out there, and like this is obviously before he was, you know, he's been sober for like 6 months or something, I think it is now, and he's been riding his fucking ass off. So
Feels like a weird
kudos
time
to
of years.
him. Yeah, kudos to him. But I just remember like one year he was just there and he was like blasted, and it just seems it's just like a big party. Yeah, I like these big night cards. Right, you get a couple of grade 3s at a small track, and you know it's just fun.
Yeah, I would say, Josh, I took a quick look at it. I do like Snowhouse a fair bit in there. I think Brian already mentioned the horse. 8-1 Juddmonte Cox horse, who has every right to improve here. And, has some pace, and you're getting Rosario aboard, 1-2 in a row. A lot of things to like there. Don't know if the horse is good enough, but it's the kind of shot I like to take.
All right, Canterbury's walking to the gate, race 8 here. I think this is a closing race.
It is, yes.
Yeah. What do you guys got here?
I got the 4 here, Mythqual. I like the 4 over the 6 in an exacta here. Probably a little bit of 4 over 1, but the 4 is my top pick.
Yeah, I had this as 3, 5, 6, and I really couldn't draw a line between the 3, so I boxed it up in a real cheap exacta.
I like 2, 4, 6. So,
all right, let's get 2 and 6. Josh will high five it, and Mark can be by himself.
You guys are the worst, just the worst.
I'm actually trying to get my bet.
We're gonna go Belmont next, Josh.
Yeah, we can do Suburban next.
Okay. Just want to get everything all queued up
as they're loading in here. I think this 4 is a good price, so I'll put a little win money on a 4 too.
See, that's what I was saying. Oh man, I already got locked out of that one. That was quick. Holy.
Yeah, they don't mess around, man. They look
man.
They have a real good gate crew. In all honesty, they really, really do for a little, rinky-dink track.
When you watch the tote as close as I do, you hate the good gate crew, though. Yeah, I love Naira's gate crew because I have all kinds of time.
And then you also know, no.
Man,
yeah. I'm so excited for 2 weeks from today.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. I'm excited. I'm gonna start doing some notes and stuff for it, so that should be fun. And then, I'm gonna have, I'm honestly really excited for my trip now. I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to make it out there, but Alabama weekend's gonna be fun. So
it will be a very, very good time.
I have not booked my trip yet.
Brian, you can sit on my couch.
Oh yeah, I hope it's a big couch.
It's a big couch.
All right, this 5 is like sitting here trying to just ruin everybody's night.
The 5's set a great trip though. A nice ride by Dean Butler here.
The 5's okay. I mean, the 5 can win this. I'm good with that. No, get the 1 out of there. No. Get.
There goes the 6. There goes
the
1.
Oh, the 1 fought back. Wow.
Nice.
1
nice
came back.
job.
Oh, important question in the chat. Do we think Saratoga Daily is coming back?
Saratoga Daily probably will not come back in its current form. I may cut it down to a rant, and maybe pick one horse or one highlight I want to talk about daily and do a real quick show on it. But I don't think Saratoga Daily in its form from 2 years ago is going to come back. It took up too much of my time, and I wasn't paying enough attention to the track and was more worried about that. And it became a little too worn down.
All right, Emerald's loading in now. I actually like the 1 here at Emerald. So the 1 was my stable dual pick, Secrets of My Soul.
You guys
no, that was it.
No, you're the thing I'm crazy about. I like the 2.
I swear to God, if your 2 gets to the lead and just fucking clears off, I'm just gonna.
The 2 did not get to the lead here, so you're okay. But
I was on the 3 and the 4.
Yeah, the 1 also did not get to the lead, which is just like.
It sucks. It's a Thursday night, and Emerald Downs and Canterbury had to run on top of each other. That really just explains
That's like the
horse
first
racing
time.
to you.
That's like the first time it's happened to us, though. Like we've actually had pretty decent where we've had like time to talk about races in between. But yeah, I thought the one was gonna get the lead here, but
he's already tapping the 2 here. I'm screwed.
Unless the 5's looking backwards, which is not good. Oh, the one cut the corner though. One cut the corner, and the 5 might be done.
Yeah, I think this is. Boy, this one is getting brave.
I think the 5's necklace is slowing him down.
Yeah, the Jonathan Wong necklace.
Yeah, he's got the Jose Abreu on.
All right, here we go. We got a winner. 8-1 bet down to 7-2, which kind of sucks, but I had it in Stable Duel and had it here. So,
all right. Well, if you hit it 8-1 and you bet the 8-1, and it was 8-1, raise your hand. Hey, Josh.
Hi, Brian.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, John Massey. And that's the funny thing, John, is like I was thinking too rail. I was thinking rail and speed, and like I just like I haven't. It just hasn't like clicked. But that one got up. That's it's gonna give me back some of the bankroll. So good.
Mark, I'm kind of curious. Emerald reminds me of Delta probably 2 years ago, where I think a certain quadrant shape would be really good here.
Yeah, it does feel. I have not looked at Emily's product as of late, but I would have a feeling that it would do very well at much like Delta did 2 years ago until they ruined the track. Stupid hurricanes.
Yeah, I forgot to put that out there. It seems interesting, and I didn't even think about it before.
Yeah, Q1 squares. Yeah,
boom, easy.
Yeah, I mean, literally, Delta 2 years ago, you could just box the Q1 squares every race, and you would hit everything. It was unfair, quite honestly, unfair.
All right, well, we got a couple minutes here before we wrap up. Thank you guys for everybody who's come and check this out. If you're new, make sure you go ahead and you subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. Follow Stable Duel on Twitter. Follow Brie Mott, and just like if she ever doesn't ask me anything again, just I don't know. It got kind of weird, but didn't get that weird, which was kind of surprising. But but let's finish up. Here with the Suburban. You got some of the best older horses I think going in this race. You got Mystic Guide and you got Happy Saver, who I think both of them are probably at the top, near the top. I think Mystic Guide, like point a gun in my head, I think Mystic Guide's probably the best older horse going right now. But Mystic Guide, is this his first race shipping back over from Dubai? I mean, are we thinking bounce, Mark?
I want a single Mystic Guide in this race so damn bad, but then the whole Dubai bounce thing does definitely scare me. I think if Mystic Guide runs back to his races, the Jockey Club or his Jim Dandy, any of that stuff, he destroys this field. I think. I think the morning line's a little funky, having Mystic Guide and Happy Saver a little closer to one another than I think they actually are. I think Mystic Guide is much the best in here. But again, the Saudi bounce scares me. So how do you manage him and Happy Saver? I think if you're if you're playing skinnier stuff, exactas, pick threes, you probably pick one of them and you single them out. If you're playing a pick five or something, maybe you use both a little bit. It's hard. When I first did my capping, I went through and I was just like, oh, Mystic Guide, easy single, move on to the next race. But the more I look at it, I don't know.
Oh man, I'm going to do something here just because Chase isn't here. I'm going to take pace into consideration in New York, and I think there's a lot of speed in this race for being a mile and a quarter. And if something crazy happens, I agree with you, Mark. I think Mystic Guide is the horse to beat here. But to be contrarian, I like the closers here. I think, I'm going to say it, max player and prioritize. I mean, I know, but you're New York. You've got Joel on a horse that is probably going to be coming late. And I'll be honest, you guys know I love Joel on a closing horse. And anything's possible in New York. Let's say that, right? It's a mile and a quarter. Anything's possible. If for some reason this one pressures early and Flavian annoys Irad or Luis, who knows what happens? So I'll take a shot. If the 3 or 5 are double digits, I'll go whichever way has a better price.
So you're going to take Max Player over Mystic Guide when they both effectively have the same run style?
I'm not convinced. I think Mystic Guide's going to sit a lot closer. Okay. Looking at it, you look at Oaklawn Park and even Belmont, and if you just go at the 2 races at Belmont, Mystic Guide was never more than 4 lengths off the lead. I expect Max Player to be 6, 7, 8 lengths off, and will benefit if the pace gets hot. That's what I'm looking at there, Mark.
No, I completely agree with you. 100% completely agree with you. But in a paceless, and I guess this is the other thing on Mystic Guide. I think Mystic Guide's much the best in here. There's not a ton of pace in this race. I mean, I realize we're going a mile and a quarter, but these are pretty classy horses, and there's not a lot of pace in here. So do you almost get a little bit contrarian and get aggressive behind somebody like Happy Saver, who's going to probably be able to create his own trip? He might end up on the lead. Maybe Moretti tries to go and maybe Moretti ends up on the lead, but those seem to be the 2, quicker horses in here. Nobody's really a speed. I can't imagine Pratt going to be on a lead. So you have to assume Happy Saver might inherit a comfortable lead and might be able to get aggressive. And, well, I shouldn't say get aggressive, get a comfy lead, slow this down, and basically make it so that at the top of the lane he can take off again, and none of the closers have any ability to get there.
See, I think this is where I'm going to disagree with like Briss, right? I'm looking at Briss on the 2 informative, and I thought the informative might be a little forwardly placed, but they're marking that horse as an EP, when I think informative is probably more of a sustained runner in the last 5, 6 outs. I know that they're going like a career average, and the horse has 25 races, but you look at those run styles and the running lines. How can you consider that horse to be an early / presser? I don't see that.
I don't either. I don't either. But I tend to not, and quite honestly, this is probably going to get me into a lot of flack with with everybody watching, but I tend to pay less attention to the E versus EP versus P versus whatever designations, because I'm not a Briss person. I tend to look more at the time form pace figures, which are a numerical value, and I think they're a little better from a relative standpoint, because I think in a race like this, which is so paceless, it sort of, the Briz has to go, oh, I have to give somebody a designation in this race, right? Like somebody has to be a really early horse and somebody has to be a closer, instead of having an absolute number where you can make a relative value. And I think it overemphasizes pace on horses that just don't have it.
And you might be creating a lot of enemies, because I know a lot of people swear by queer.
I know they do.
What is that? Queer and speed points.
Queer and speed points. Yeah.
I can only imagine how many people are going to find you at 2_turns on Twitter.
I'll give my seat name when I'm at Saratoga. They can come have a conversation with me. I'm all about it. I think those are a massive oversimplification of a very complicated thing, and I think I don't want to bash Josh here, but I think if you look and say, oh, geez, I love speed horses, so I'm going to pick the E with a big number, it puts you at a disadvantage. Now, sometimes they make it so you can read a race very quickly, but I think at other times they are they can feed you information which is not very accurate.
So, Josh, Mark, and I just beat this race to crap.
I kind of. If this race were a month from now, and this exact race could be run in a month from now, and I would pick Mystic Guide. I would single Mystic Guide, and I would be fine. But my spidey sense is telling me first time back, shipping back from overseas. Just throw the horse out, take the next best horse. Happy saver. I'm in a single happy saver here. So I think that's what I'm going to go with here. I can't get super contrarian in this spot. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm probably not going to put a single cent through Belmont. And I'm saying this now, but obviously I'll be looking at Belmont 5 minutes to post, and I'll probably place at least a single wager somewhere. But I'm just not really interested in this race from a betting perspective. But I would think that Happy Saver is going to be the horse that wins here. Yeah, that's going to do it for Belmont. Now, I did want to touch on one thing, Mark.
Okay.
There is a contest on Saturday. And no, it's not the DGen Nation High Rollers at Monmouth Park, because I could barely get myself to pay the $300 to play a live contest at Hawthorne. $500 is a little, for a stable duel contest, a little outside my budget right now. But there's a $10 loanspeed.com at Gulfstream, $10 stable duel contest, $500 guaranteed. I'm going to be taking a look, because apparently I am like a Gulfstream whisperer. So, Mark, I know you said you had a couple of plays that you wanted to touch on here at Gulfstream for our stable duel audience. What do you got?
Race 11, which is one of the featured races. It's
Don't
a
you do
G2. What was that?
Don't you do it.
Don't I do what?
Go on.
This is my time, the 3.
Fuck.
Oh, man.
Yeah, this is my
You're
time.
not gonna see. Oh, it's not gonna show up.
Speed, horse's speed of the speed, going 7 furlongs at Gulfstream. I mean, Kathleen O'Connell, with I'm not going to try to say the jock's last name because I'm going to screw it up. It should be speed of the speed.
Jaramillo? You're going to mess up Jaramillo?
Yes, I'm going to mess up Jaramillo because I cannot pronounce anything. I think this horse makes a ton of sense.
Jaramillo! I try to do my best. Oh man, why am I Pete? Try to do my best Pete IL call there.
Your best Pete IL? Okay.
Dude,
So
I'm
this is
so disappointed you're on the 3, Mark. I'm so mad.
Did I just miss your price, Brian?
I thought I was going to be sharp and smart. I'm like 6-1. This is a great horse. This is the key. I actually have it written down. I was looking at the $100 Gulfstream stable duel on Saturday. I said, this is my key right here. This is the race I'm going to win. 6-1. I think it's a horrible morning line. Not to cut you off. I think it's going to let you spend a lot of money elsewhere in stable duel. This is a crazy price.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. Exactly the same thing. I think this is just a bad morning line. This horse is arguably the fastest horse in the race, and you're getting 6-1. And I don't know, was that 3,000 stable duel? It's a fairly inexpensive number.
5,000.
Sorry, 5,000. It's a $5,000 horse. This is a horse I think you can kind of build the sequence around. This is one of 3 players. I had the 1, the 3, and the 6 as being as being the 3 players in here. And I think this is my time. This horse loves Gulfstream. 6-7 in the money, 3 wins, 2 seconds, and a first. 3 of the horse's 4 wins have come at Gulfstream. And, the horses, never miss the exact at this distance. I think this is the distance. This is the horse. And this is also a pretty kind of every other type. And the other was the last one. So this should be the every. I think this is that kind of value middle price horse that makes a ton of sense. Gets may get a little lost on the board. So I mean, honestly, if you can get anything near the morning line on a win bet, this is definitely a win bettable horse as well.
So the funny part about this is that like Mark was like, we were talking before stream, and Mark's like, I found some good plays at Gulfstream, because we were both talking about. We looked at the contest schedule. What are we going to play? Are we going to play anything this weekend? And Saturday's got the. I probably would have. I saw that they had the DGen Nation. I think it was going to be like a $50 tournament. I probably would have jumped in for that, but $500 is a little bit more than I'm comfortable playing. But I'll play $10 at Gulfstream. That seems like a nice thing. So I was like, let's take a look at some of the speed. And Mark was like, I really want to talk about Gulfstream. Like that's where I think the value is. So
we're 2 weeks from Saratoga, and you're making me cap Gulfstream, and then I capped it, and I went, I got a lot of plays here that are kind of interesting. So.
See, so if you guys, we got a couple of new viewers to the show, and for years, Mark and I have ended up on same horses, but then I'll force a contrarian play, so I'm not on the same horse as Mark. Then he'll win, and then I'll be pissed off.
Yes.
So
there is a history here of this happening. So when we're both on the horse, it's a little scary. And if you want a bit of a price horse, Gulfstream as well. I mean, there's a few of them that I thought were super interesting in this sequence. One is in race 9, the 5-horse JoJo's Dream, 20-1 in the morning line. That's going to be a super cheap, couple $100 on stable.
$250. Yep.
Yeah, $250 horse. The horse is 8 of 11 at Gulfstream, 5 of 15 on turf. And is going to be extremely forwardly placed. Probably ends up on the lead in a 7.5 furlong turf sprint. I don't understand that. Georgina Baxter is a really high percentage trainer, and this type of layoff she's really good at. 24% trainer on this kind of layoff. This seems like the kind of horse that could wire this thing. And it wouldn't surprise me at all. And you're going to get a horse that has a massive amount of upside. Again, a win type horse, a horse that in a classic $2 win place tournament, I would love to use. It's a capper type horse. And a horse in stable duel is a really inexpensive play that I think is extremely likely to hit the board. So you're getting a cheap play that you're not going to lose money on, but have a massive amount of upside on.
I've got another play, but before I share it, I want to watch the races tomorrow, and I'm going to put out a quick little thing tomorrow night after Gulfstream finishes on a horse I like in the first 3 races that I think will give you a huge opportunity to save some stable duel cash. So obviously that'll be on the wrong lead Twitter, hopefully, if Josh loves me enough, but. We'll see how Gulfstream goes tomorrow. It's a turf race that I'm looking at keying something crazy around. So I want to see how the turf course plays tomorrow before I put that one out. Sorry for the cliffhanger, fellas.
You got to leave them wanting more. Apparently, Bree just tweeted out that she loves seeing familiar names on the leaderboard. Apparently, I'm in 11th in this Emerald Downs contest.
Nice, man. How many total?
I don't know. I'm going to have to pull up the...
I was going to jump into it, but I didn't have enough chance to cap the back end of the card, so... Yeah, the frustrating 85. Part... 85? Oh, dude, nice. Well done. And I will say, if you're new to the stable duel thing, I don't know. I don't want to make a dig at people who play stable duel, but from what I've seen, these are not crazy challenging. They're not as competitive as something like playing a standard classic $2 win place tournament. If you understand how the structure works, you can build, I used basically the Josh strategy last week, which is a couple of real core play, shorter place horses, and then prices kind of miss the middle. So you have sort of short prices and longer priced horses. And Josh had a name for it that was very cute that Bree threw up on Twitter. What was it?
Stars and Scrubs?
Yeah, Stars and Scrubs. There we go.
Yeah, that's a DFS thing.
Oh, is it a DFS thing? Okay.
Yeah.
So I used this kind of a Stars and Scrubs type strategy. And I think halfway through the Stable Duel 10K, I was sitting in first place. And I didn't finish up as clean as I wanted to. Finished up in 8th, but $75 buy-in, get 300 back. Was a nice day. And I think I know Caleb plays these. I think Caleb was saying his best ROI is playing these stable duel tournaments. There's obviously a lot of money to be made there. I know Josh does well at them. Bri does well at them. So they're kind of fun. I shouldn't say kind of fun. They're definitely fun. I had a really good weekend, and it was a $75 in, and I have a really enjoyable, fun day. It was good.
Yeah, and I was testing some stuff yesterday because there are a couple of limitations right now. You have to play on a phone, but there's a couple of ways that we can try and capture some stuff. So we're gonna try and get a couple of intro videos and stuff like that up. So we'll definitely we're definitely working on that. I know Brian's been playing these off and on. I know Brian, you like playing all kinds of contests, but I know you were kind of the first one that kind of, you actually are the one who got me on these. So you were playing a couple free ones.
I was playing it when it was still beta. Probably was that 2019. I think it was 2019 when they only did it on a couple big cards. And, I really liked playing it. And then, as it was growing, I kind of quit playing it a little bit. I'll be honest. Life just got in the way, and I've gotten back into it. They, almost every day they have a free contest, which is totally worth it. A lot of people don't want to play contests out of their comfort zone. Last weekend I played the Monmouth contest. It was a free one, and I cashed in that thing. So, I mean, try something different. The free ones, the $5 ones, the double up $10 ones, whatever you can do. Try a different track, because your approach, that what you may do at Belmont may not work on some of these contests, but you take that same strategy to Monmouth, and you're like, holy crap, I just cashed out at Stable Duel.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I got into it in 2019. I think you clued me onto it that, hey, I should take a look. Did a couple big days, played a couple of free rolls. I didn't do well, and I kind of put it in the back burner. And I know a couple of other guys have said, oh, geez, I'm doing really well. And just you get busy with other things, and you don't want to invest the time in really learning how the scoring system works and the type of horses you should be playing. And I put a little effort into that one last week and did really well. So it's definitely something I'm going to be putting more volume and more emphasis through. And I'm really excited. I think Stable Duel is very close to having a couple of other tracks that I play a lot, a couple of other circuits I play a lot. And if that does happen, then it's something I'll probably be playing almost daily, quite honestly.
All right. Well, we definitely went way over time. But it was fun hanging out. It was fun talking to you guys. And if you guys got any questions about anything, like I said, reach out to us on Twitter. Our Twitter handles are here. Mark's at 2 Turns. Brian's at BD Horseplayer. I am at Cherry Drank. We'll go ahead and we'll run the little Stable Duel promo, and we'll be out.
Good luck this weekend.
Yeah. Win some money. Win some fucking money.
You've picked your power forward. Your all-star receiver keeps scoring. Now it's time to race across the finish line and put even more points on the board. Download the Stable Duel app and get in on the thrill of horse racing. Choose your horses, your jockeys, your track, and win thousands in daily games competing against other players. Move up the annual leaderboard and bring home real cash prizes daily. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.